Stop, take a deep breath, make a smart choice.
My kid, my 1-year-old, got him on YouTube, or at least watching some YouTube, and there's this gal, Miss Rachel. This is her right here. She has hours of nursery rhymes and whatnot, and I watch it also sometimes. And I caught this video where she was going over how adults get upset and how kids can get upset and how to be really mindful. And she went through this is like, okay, if something bad happens, like you're mad at somebody, stop, like take a pause, take a deep breath, and then make a smart choice. Do we continue to get upset, or do we say, you know what, it's okay, I can get by that? Now, you've been talking to me about mindfulness, stopping, taking a deep breath, and think about the choice or what can come out of our mouths next. Isn't that right?
All the time. I think that, yes, to stop anytime you have a negative thought of any kind, especially whatever happens that's making you upset. And sometimes when you're driving along, say you're in traffic and somebody does something that makes you a little bit upset, for instance, for me, I like to count down from 10 on my toes, because that takes a focus from whatever's happening to something else. And you can do that while driving. So,
that sounds good. So, like, hey, just the other day, I noticed that some guy was coming up behind me and I knew he was going to cut me off. I had to make that decision. Okay, do my ego and race up and not let him in? Or, hey, back off and let the guy zigzag and do what he's going to do?
Yeah, it's quite a thing. It depends on what level of ego you have.
It changes, depends if I'm hot, if I'm running late, if I'm in a good mood.
Well, that is your smart choice. You could either choose to be in a good mood or choose to not be in a good mood. That's why why does taking a deep breath, why does that affect? Why is that step 2, for instance?
Well, it's like counting on your toes, I think, because it makes you, all right, take a deep breath. You focus on your breathing rather than the surroundings.
That's to start with it. In other words, if you're upset, what kind of breathing rate do you have?
I've never really thought about that, what my breathing rate was. I know when I get kind of freaked out and whatnot and stressed, I know my heart rate goes up.
So, yeah. Do you think your breathing rate affects your heart rate?
Oh, I know it does. When I'm going to the doctor and, getting my blood pressure and my pulse and all that, I always take a deep breath and release slowly. And it has a positive effect on my blood pressure and pulse.
Yes, that's right. So really, the stop part is just to stop the thought process. Whatever you're in the middle of, to stop. And to take a deep breath, that changes everything.
Yeah.
And then whatever you do next is to allow you to make the smart choice. To allow you to make the smart choice. I really think that's true. I think that has a lot of effect on how we do things. For instance, I was swimming the other day, and a lot of times, there's people in the pool, and I like to do exercises, my own type of aerobic exercises, and I pick a spot in there, in the pool where, hey, I'm just to myself, I'm not disturbing anybody else, and if they want to talk or do whatever, that's up to them. Well, the other day there was this guy who I was thinking, there's something not quite right here, that he kept wanting to swim right toward me and not find a different lane, not to go somewhere else. And I finally asked him, well, why can't you swim in that direction? And he says, okay. He turns around, goes the other direction. And I go, why does something like that even bother me? Where there again, taking the time. And so I was wondering what was happening in his life, thinking about considering what somebody else is going through. So then a couple of days later, after that, I saw that he was had this walker, and he was really having trouble walking. So the only thing I could deduce or come to the conclusion of is that maybe he had some type of stroke, and that he has reduced mental capabilities at this time. And so that was a part of trying to understand what other people are going through.
So for you, you asked him go in a different lane or swim in a different direction. And so you had the knee-jerk reaction, but afterwards you thought, well, why did that really bother me? Is that really kind of what happened? And then you gave him the benefit of the doubt that maybe he's got a walker and had some other issues.
Well, yeah, why would it, do I really want to have this occurrence of, a grievance feeling? And I go, well, no, I don't. And right after I asked him to swim a different direction because I wasn't bothering him, I had sort of in my spot, and I was just trying to take care of myself. Well, why did that bother me? Well, why did he come into my zone, your space? Yeah. And I go, well, maybe because he's lost that mental capability of understanding what other people are going through. At first I thought he was just being stubborn. He was an old stubborn male that just—
Two of you.
Yeah.
Two stubborn males.
Yeah, who just wanted to have let's say, possess their space, or to intimidate, or to show that they have the power, and rather than let's just let go and not try to influence our choices on other people.
So I got something here. This you made me think of this with the guy swimming in your lane. There was a time I was injured on crutches because I had a cast on my leg. I was walking into a hopping in because I was on crutches and I was with a girlfriend, into a restaurant, middle of the day, middle of the afternoon, or just about lunchtime, something like that. And there's a double set of doors. There's French doors on the outside, and there's another set of French doors on the inside to keep the air conditioning in and all that. And so I go walking in, the girlfriend opens the door for me, and I hop in, and then there's the second door. And there was a guy there, middle-aged, 30 or something like that. He opens the door, and I kind of saw him coming, and I stood there and braced myself because I didn't want to get hit and lay down on the floor, right? Because I'm on crutches. And he runs into me, and I was prepared, so I held my ground because I didn't want to fall. And his first thing is he looked at me like, why did you stand in my way? And then once he saw I was on crutches and almost fell over, then he's like, oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. He immediately apologized. So that ego thing, pushing the door open, and I was standing in his way. And then he stopped. He saw that I was on crutches, and this whole deep breath happened very quickly. But then his choice changed from being an egotistical male and butting heads, took the lighter side, gave me the benefit of the doubt because I was injured on crutches.
Many things happen, don't they? That I swear, our egos get in the way all the time.
Sure.
And it's we need to stop, take a deep breath, and make a smart choice. There's just no doubt about it.
So let's say somebody's watching this video. We get lucky. Thank you for watching it, whoever's out there. Let's say that they watched this and they got this far along, and they're like, okay, they heard a couple stories and all that, and this makes a lot of sense. A word to them, or even if I could ask them a question, is where have you found yourself in a spot that elevated your stress or your, getting you upset? What happened? And what was the cause of that? And what was your, how did you respond? And did you make a good response? Did you make a response to elevate and actually want to fight? What happened? Let us know down there in the comments if you actually recall something that might have happened. Any thoughts on that, Stan? I mean, in closing here, before we get off?
We'd love to hear some comments, especially if you have thoughts one way or another. That would be great.
Yeah, fantastic. Thanks. Like, subscribe. We're going to be doing a little bit more of this more often. So fantastic, Stan. Thank you for this.